The music is beautiful. The voices are iconic. And some of the people behind those voices did things that are genuinely hard to sit with. This isn't gossip. This isn't rumor. These are real crimes, real courts, real consequences, and in too many cases, real victims who never got what they deserved.
Girl, where did you come from? Got me so undone.
10 names, 10 stories. Some you know, some you've told yourself were probably exaggerated. By the end of this, you'll know which ones weren't. Number 10, Gerald Levert. Gerald Levert, son of Eddie Levert of the OJs, lead singer of the group Levert, one of the smoothest, most gifted voices in R&B for 2 full decades. Casanova, Baby I'm Ready, Taking Everything. You know what that catalog sounds like coming through a car speaker late at night. In February of 2005, Levert and a friend came upon a late-night traffic stop involving another friend of theirs, and things escalated. Officers were involved. Words became confrontation, and by the end of it, Gerald Levert was standing in Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, pleading guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts: assault and attempted obstruction of official business. $2,000 fine, 1 year probation. Here's what gets me about this one. 18 months after that court date, Gerald Levert was gone. November of 2006, 40 years old. Accidental overdose of prescription medications. The misdemeanor became a footnote in a life that ended far too early. It's the smallest crime on this list, but the officer who was on the other end of that confrontation didn't experience it as small, and we don't either. Number 9, Cisco. You know Thong Song. Everybody knows Thong Song. Summer of 2000. Cisco, real name Mark Andrews, Drew Hill's front man, stepped out solo with platinum blonde hair and a song that owned every radio station, every summer cookout, every party from coast to coast. The man was at the peak of everything. Then September 13, 2003, police get a call about shots fired outside a residential home in Randallstown, Maryland. They show up at Cisco's house and find empty shell casings from a 9mm pistol in front of the property. They find a gun on his kitchen counter. It had been recently fired, and there was gunpowder residue on Cisco's hands. He told them he had been inside recording music. His hands said something else entirely. He was charged with first-degree assault, second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and resisting arrest. Most of the major charges were eventually dropped as part of a deal. He received unsupervised probation for reckless endangerment and resisting, but sit with that image for a second. The Thong Song guy, standing on his front porch in the middle of the night, firing a 9mm at a car parked on his neighbor's street. Some of y'all half remembered this one and then completely forgot it. That's okay. That's kind of what this channel is for. Number 8, Da Brat. Halloween night, 2007. Jermaine Dupri Studio 72 nightclub just outside Atlanta. There's a party going on. And Dabrat, born Shantae Harris, one of the first female solo rappers ever to go platinum, gets into a verbal confrontation with a woman named Shayla Stevens. Shayla was working as a waitress that night. She was also a former Atlanta Falcons cheerleader, a model, and an actress with real opportunities in front of her. The argument seemed to settle. Shayla walked away toward her manager, and Dabrat attacked her from behind with a rum bottle. She hit her in the face. The impact left Shayla with permanent facial scarring, neurological damage, what the civil jury later called a brain injury. Dabrat pleaded guilty to felony aggravated assault in 2008 and was sentenced to 3 years in Georgia State Prison, 7 years of probation, and 200 hours of community service. She served a full 3 years. In 2014, a civil jury added $6.4 million in damages for the lifelong injuries Shayla sustained that night. Here's the detail that stays with me. Shayla walked away first. The argument was moving on. She didn't see the bottle coming. That's not a moment of passion. That's a decision. Number 7, Bobby Brown. People always want to do Bobby Brown's story to one thing, one moment, one arrest. But it was never when it was a string. And the string ran for over 15 years. There were multiple DUIs, probation violations, an arrest in 1996 for violating Atlanta's anti-lewdness law after a performance. 65 days in a Florida prison in 2000 for parole violations. A 2013 arrest for drunk driving that put him in rehab. The legal system knew his name well. But the one that's hardest to reconcile with the music came in 2003. Bobby Brown was charged with misdemeanor battery, domestic violence, for an altercation with his wife, Whitney Houston, at their home near Atlanta. Whitney arrived at the courthouse with a visible bruise on her cheek. Her publicist issued a statement saying Bobby was very apologetic. A judge found sufficient evidence to proceed to trial. Brown eventually turned himself in, posted bond, and the case resolved without significant penalty. He has always denied it happened the way it was documented. The public record has not agreed with him. And if you've ever watched someone you love stay in something that was hurting them, kept making excuses for the other person, kept protecting someone who wasn't protecting them back, you know the legal outcome doesn't tell you everything. Not even close. Number 6, James Brown.
So good, I got you.
The godfather of soul. 116 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Kennedy Center honors. A man who reshaped American music so fundamentally that you cannot trace R&B, funk, hip-hop, or soul without walking directly through his fingerprints.
I feel nice.
And beneath all of it, a pattern of violence against women that stretched across 4 marriages and 4 separate decades.
So good, but I got you.
In 1988, his third wife, Adrienne, filed criminal charges. She said he fired a gun into the family car while she was inside it and beat her with a pipe. She later dropped the charges. But the 1988 arrest itself combined with drug possession, assault, and leading police on a high-speed chase across state lines, sent him to South Carolina prison for 2.5 years.
When I hold you in my arms.
He claimed he was on crack cocaine during that period. He underwent rehabilitation. He was released. He recorded. He rebuilt his public image.
Oh, you in the arms. My love won't do you no harm.
Then in January of 2004, at 70 years old, just 2 months after receiving the Kennedy Center honors, he was arrested again.
So good.
His fourth wife, Tommy Ray, told deputies he threw her to the floor during an argument, held a chair over her, and threatened her. She had visible bruises and scratches. She was taken to the hospital.
So good. So good. But I got you.
Rather than stand trial, Brown forfeited his bond. His attorney said he didn't want his wife to have to testify, which is another way of saying he didn't want the story told in open court.
So nice.
The honors kept coming after that. The legacy kept being celebrated. And for the women who made those 911 calls, none of it changed what they lived through.
My love can't do me no harm, and I feel.
Number 5, Mr. Cal.
And don't worry about how I'm ripping this shit when I'm flipping, when I'm kicking, nigga, this shit.
You know, shake your ass. You know, danger.
Pay your fare, fix your hair, throw that pussy. Got Prada for my boonapas and Donna for my.
Late 90s, early 2000s, Mr. Cal was one of the most energetic, distinctive voices coming out of New Orleans, working with the Neptunes, releasing back-to-back hits, earning 3 Grammy nominations.
Yeah! Chocolate and bow-legged when I'm running up behind her. Go ahead.
One of the most recognizable performers of that era, and a registered sex offender. In 2003, Mr. Cole, real name Michael Tyler, pleaded guilty to sexual battery.
Oh, y'all niggas can't fuck with me.
Watch yourself.
Now this ain't fun, no smoke.
He had forced his hairstylist to perform sex acts on him and 2 of his bodyguards. His stated justification: he accused her of cashing unauthorized checks from his account and used that accusation as leverage.
It's what's happening. Let them see, show the world.
Attention, all your players and pimps right now.
She was trapped. He served 6 years in a Louisiana state prison. He came out in 2010, said publicly that he learned, made music, appeared at festivals, gave interviews about his growth.
Good job, popped it like, let the cock out. For real though, girl, don't lie. You know they won't go back to my house.
In July of 2022, a woman came to his home to discuss a financial dispute. Detectives testified his behavior changed abruptly and turned violent. She reached a hospital with visible injuries. She identified him immediately.
Shake your ass. Watch yourself. Shake your ass. Show me what you're working with.
The original charge, first-degree rape, mandatory life sentence under Louisiana law. Additional charges included false imprisonment, domestic abuse battery by strangulation, and robbery.
I told y'all niggas before, y'all niggas can't fuck with me.
Watch yourself.
Now this.
In March of 2026, Mr. Call pleaded guilty to third-degree rape as part of a plea deal. He's facing up to 20 years in prison.
Shake your ass. Show me what you're working with. You crying heifer. I don't need all that.
And if you've ever given someone a genuine second chance, believe them when they said they changed, and then watch them prove they hadn't. You know what kind of wound that leaves.
Got a job for you to braid it up, pimp his back. Break them handcuffs. Fuck you, nigga. Move something.
It doesn't close the same way it did the first time.
You think I'm tricking, bitch? I ain't tripping. I'm buying if you got nice curves for your.
Number 4. February 8, 2009, the night before the Grammy Awards. Two of the biggest young artists in music are driving through Los Angeles. They're 20 years old. They're in love, or what passes for love at 20 when
Look what I can do with my feet, baby. Feel the beating time.
it's that intense, that volatile. And then the car stops and everything changes. Rihanna found a text message on Chris Brown's phone from another woman. She confronted him. The argument escalated. And what happened in that car? The police affidavit that later became public record was brutal. He punched her repeatedly. He put her in a headlock. He bit her fingers. He bit her.
We can be two rebels, breaking the.
She was screaming for help. Blood was filling her mouth. And then he walked away from the car and left her there. He pleaded guilty to felony assault in June 2009. 5 years probation, community service.
Night, you join me in the middle of ecstasy.
Mandatory domestic violence counseling. His sponsors dropped him overnight. Radio stations pulled his music. He came back, of course. He always came back. And that comeback, that slow reacceptance, is its own conversation.
No one else that matters, you love me, and I won't let you fall, girl.
Because Rihanna herself later described sitting in that car and thinking, when is it going to stop? She said she looked at him and saw no person, just blank, no soul in his eyes. You know what's strange about that? Millions of people have danced to this man's music since. Millions of people still will tonight. And I'm not here to tell you what to do with that. But if you've ever looked at someone you loved and seen nothing looking back at you, you know exactly what Rihanna was describing in
It's like now.
Number 3, Ike Turner. Ike Turner was a musical genius, not debatable. He helped shape early rock and roll. He produced, arranged, and built one of the most electrifying live acts in American music history. The Ike and Tina Turner Revue was a force that influenced every performer who saw them. Inside the industry, Ike Turner was respected, genuinely, deeply respected, for the music he made. And what Tina Turner documented in her 1986 autobiography across decades of interviews and in her 2021 documentary is one of the most sustained accounts of domestic abuse in the history of American entertainment. 16 years. She said he hit her with shoes, with hangers. He broke her jaw. He broke her nose so many times she could taste blood running down her throat while she sang. He burned her face with hot coffee. He controlled her money, her wardrobe, her entire existence. She attempted suicide in 1968 because she told herself she couldn't see another way out of it. In 1990, Ike Turner confirmed the abuse to People magazine. In his own words, he said he'd slap her or something like that when he got emotional. He said it like it was a personality quirk. He was never criminally charged. He never went to prison for what he did to her. Tina left in 1976 with a mobile card and 36 cents after he hit her one last time in the back of a car on the way to a Dallas hotel. She looked at a sleeping Ike just before she fled and thought, "You just beat me for the last time," and she ran across a highway to make it true. She eventually got everything she deserved: multiple Grammy Awards, sold-out stadiums, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a life in Switzerland she built on her own terms. But she had to build it from nothing after 16 years of everything being taken from her. Number 2, R. Kelly. For nearly 30 years, the story circulated, the whispers, the rumors that became lawsuits that somehow dissolved, the settlements with non-disclosure agreements, the acquittal on child pornography charges in Chicago in 2008, and then right back to the arena, sold out every seat. I Believe I Can Fly at graduations and church services and family reunions that some of you can still picture. The music industry kept working with him. The audiences kept showing up. The machine kept moving. Federal prosecutors in New York finally built a case around what they described as a criminal enterprise, a structured operation. A network of managers, handlers, and aides used to recruit girls, some underage, and keep them isolated, controlled, and obedient. He gave them rules. He called himself Daddy. He filmed things. He used the footage as leverage. The 1994 marriage to Aaliyah, who was 15 years old, was part of the evidence.
But now I know the meaning of.
Witnesses testified about how it was arranged. The certificate that falsely listed her age as 18. In September of 2021, a federal jury in Brooklyn found R. Kelly guilty on all 9 counts. Racketeering, sex trafficking, multiple Mann Act violations. In June of 2022, he was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. The Chicago convictions added 20 more. A federal appeals court upheld the Brooklyn sentence in February of 2025. His combined federal sentences total over 50 years. Here's the part that still doesn't sit right with me. It wasn't a secret. The stories were there. The victims were speaking for years. Some of the industry knew and the calculation was made. The music is too valuable. The audience is too large and we're not going to do anything about it. That's what disturbs me as much as the crimes themselves. Not just what he did, but the size of silence that protected him while he did it. That's number 2. And number one is the same man. Because when you account for the full scope, the Brooklyn convictions, the Chicago convictions, the 30-year sentence upheld on appeal, the 50-plus combined years, the hundreds of victims documented across 3 decades, there's nothing above it on this list. R. Kelly is number 1 and number 2, he earned it twice.